Hey guys, what's up? This is the Cyber Informant, and today we're going to take a look at how CDPR decided to optimize Cyberpunk 2077 heavily in favor of Nvidia over AMD. If you guys remember, Witcher 3 had a similar problem. CDPR optimized for performance on Nvidia graphics cards and left AMD until after the game launched. It took about 6 months after launch for CDPR to optimize for AMD graphics cards and get the performance out of them that they can actually put out. Let's take a look at the PC requirements chart that CDPR put out yesterday. I'm going to look at just the rasterized performance, not ray tracing, since CDPR won't be offering ray tracing in Cyberpunk 2077 on AMD graphics cards at launch. For the low and recommended specs, everything seems pretty normal. But these next two columns here with the high and ultra requirements seem to be a little weird. Looking at the high setting, according to CDPR, an RTX 2060, not the super variant, the original one, will perform the same as a 5700 XT. Now I'd like to remind everybody that the 2070 Super basically existed because the 5700 XT was matching and beating the 2070 before they released it. So just to give CDPR the benefit of the doubt, let's take a look at some 5700 XT benchmarks versus the 2060 at 1440p. All these results are with the Ultra preset in each game. First up, Witcher 3, CDPR's previous hit title. The 5700 XT averages 91 frames per second. The 2060 averages 80 frames per second. Now that's a 14% increase in performance. Not really something you would consider to be in the same tier. Far Cry 5 shows us the same thing. 5700 XT averaging 100 FPS and the 2060 averaging 78 FPS. That's an almost 30% increase. Metro Exodus is the same story. 5700 XT averaging 92 frames per second and the 2060 averaging 74 frames per second. Another 25% increase. Clearly, with this graph, CDPR telling us a lot of things about the optimization and performance. Either all tests on Nvidia hardware utilized DLSS where possible, which they didn't disclose in this chart, or there is a clear favorite in terms of time spent optimizing for. Now, I haven't even gotten into the best part yet. Let's take a look at the next column in the chart. According to CDPR, a 6800 XT, that's right, a 6800 XT, which at times trades blows with 3090 and pretty much matches or beats the 3080, is matched up with a 3070 and a 2080 Super. Now, the 3070 and the 2080 Super are fairly close in terms of performance, and the 2080 Ti is what Nvidia compared the 3070 to, so that's a fair comparison. But with the recent release of the 6800 XT and all the benchmarks that came out, it is pretty obvious that the 6800 XT outclasses the 3070 by a fairly large margin in rasterized performance. The 6800 non-XT variant is closer to the 3070 and it pretty much wins in all benchmarks by a few percentage points anyway. The reason this is a little off-putting to me is that I don't want people with AMD hardware to wait 6 months to get comparable performance in their systems. If a 5700 XT runs at the same performance as a 2060 without DLSS, then CDPR really did rush the game and it needs more time. But if these graphs are actually using DLSS, then CDPR is painting a confusing image for consumers. I know a lot of people who have built their first PC for Cyberpunk 2077, and there are probably plenty more that are going to build one between now and release. If a novice takes a look at this graph and sees that a 2060 is the same performance as a 5700 XT, they may go out and buy one, only to find out that it's only as good as the 5700 XT in Cyberpunk, and not even close in other titles. Well, that's it for my rant today. Let me know what you guys think about the PC specs in the comments down below. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button to stay in the loop with all the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 news. Catch you guys in the next one.